What's up, Wayne Barron here with darkeffects.net, and we are inside of 3D Studio Max 2014, and this is what we're going to be creating, is this bridge right here. Now, I got the original concept of how to design the bridge from the Elements layer, and a link in the description below to go see his video on his bridge destruction, which was done several years ago. However, I was able to go in and use his concept of making a bridge and then added my own spin to it. As you can see, we've got the bars here. We click on this image here. We got our crossbars and so forth and our beams and everything. Now keep in mind that this is not I don't have all the specifics as in how to create the bolts, how to create the angles, how to create all that. So what this lesson here is basically just going to show you how to throw together a quick bridge that you can have inside of your project for a very quick render. However, if you're going to be making a movie or a video game where you're going to get close up into it, then I strongly suggest that you learn how to make the bolt heads and all that other stuff. This is not the lesson for you. However, this will give you a good jump start on how to design a bridge. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now we are using American inches, and so it basically comes as metric. So we're going to come over here to customize, come down to unit set, and then we're going to set up, and then we're going to change it to generic units and click on OK. This right here is going to give us our inches. Okay, with that set up, let's go ahead and create our bridge. We're going to come over here and choose the box, and let's move this around. If you hold down Alt and use your wheel on your mouse, then you can move around your scene like so. And so let's go ahead and draw our box onto the center and drag it up. And then let's do the following dimensions: 3600, and then 300, and then 600. Let's come down here and do 18 for our length segments and click on enter. Hold down Alt and let's drag this out so we can actually get out of our box. And that is our box. Let's come over here into our wireframe. Well, actually, let's first right click on our box and choose convert to editable poly. Now let's come over here to our left frame. If we just take our cursor and go over each section, and then we can do Control W, we'll go into that section. And so let's go ahead and hold down Alt and scroll out. And this is basically what we have. Let's go ahead and choose on our modify panel and select our bridge right here. And then we want to select our vertices. And you can see our blue dots on each one of our vertices. And we're going to drag across. Come up here and choose select and move. And now we're going to sit here and we're going to create a rounded angle. And so drag this up to about here. As you can tell, we're right below that second line. Click out, select the next one, drag it up, and then the next one, and then keep on doing this until you get up to the very top. Oops, let's drag that down. That's about right up in there. And there we go. We've got a nice arch for our bridge. Okay, so that's what we look like so far. So let's go ahead and Alt W, come back over here inside of our perspective view, Alt W to get into here. Let's go ahead and drag it around. Like I said, if you hold down the Alt key, use your mouse wheel, you push it in, and then you're able to move around our scene or our object. Let's come over here and we're going to choose the edge, and we're just going to select this edge right here. We're going to come over and choose ring. And then we're going to come over here and choose connect. And once the connect opens up, we're going to set this to 2. And then we're going to drag this all the way up to 90. There we go. Let's go ahead and click on the check mark. And let's Control W. Go up here to our front view. Control W to get into it. Let's go ahead and drag it out. Come down here. Choose our polygon. And let's go ahead and make it so that we can actually see what we're doing here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to grab a hold of these polygons right here. So we're going to select them right here. If that happens, come over and choose the window crossing, and then select right here. Hold down Control and then select right here, and as you can see, we have grabbed both of them. Now what we want to do is that we want to extrude them out. So let's go ahead and extrude. We're going to set this at 36, and that will give us 3 feet, 12, 24, 36. Let's go ahead and click OK on that, and let's select our edge again. Click right here on the edge, and then once again we want to do a ring, and then we want to do a connect, and then we're going to set this at minus 90, and then click on OK on here, and then come right here and select the face, and then grab a hold of just that. That's all we want, is this area right here, and then choose the extrude tool, and then we want to drop this down to 24. So this is basically what it will look like. We can actually come down a little bit lower than that. Let's set it to about 12. That looks a little bit better, because whenever you're driving down the road, you actually want to be able to see the cars on the other side. So having this a foot up in the air should be okay. That should keep people from hopefully jumping. And so let's go ahead and click here. Then again, I've seen some bad wrecks before, so maybe a foot is not big enough, but it's okay for this one anyway. So that is our main structure for our bridge, and now we're going to go into the fun part of working with our different other sections. Let's go ahead and zoom out, holding down on the Control key, using your mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and then let's move it right here to the center. Let's grab a hold of our edge and then hold down Shift. And as you can see, it has selected all of our elements all the way around. And then we want to do the same thing here. Control, come down here, Shift. And then basically we want to do this all the way through. Let's come over and we want to choose the connect. We click on it, and as you can see, it brings up the connect, and it brings up some bars. So we do not want 2, we want to set this at 1. Now we want to come over here and set this at 0, and we want to work with this bottom one right here. So we want to move this all the way over to about right here at about 95 is really good. And as you can see, it puts us a bar all the way around so that we can have a good thickness. Let's go ahead and click on OK for that one, and that takes care of that part. Let's go ahead and rotate to the bottom here, and we want to select each one of these faces right here. So let's come over here and grab a hold of our polygon, and then select each face, hold down your Control key, do not let off. Let's go ahead and back out of that. Make sure that you select your select object tool. You do not want to have the select and move, because it will mess up your vertices. So with our selection tool, let's go ahead and choose each one. Leave these 2 alone. Okay, so we're just going to choose all of these. Okay, now we're going to come over here to our modifier list. We're going to scroll down here. We're going to go all the way down to our T's, and we're going to choose tessellate. I'm not really sure if that's how you pronounce it, tessellate. However, this will give us this funky design that we've got going on right here. And then polygons, there we go. And then face center, there we go. And now it gives us an X. Alright, so now we're going to select both of these, right click on it and choose collapse all, and choose yes, and then click out of it, and then select our item, and it will flip. Try that again. Now there we go. The next thing that we got to do here is that we've got to select each one of our bars. So choose your edge tool, so hold down your Control key and select each bar. Okay, now we got all of our bars selected. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit so that we can actually get the entire bridge into our scene. Let's go ahead and rotate around. And as you can see, we've got some areas selected that we've got to come in and fix. So if you hold down the Alt key, and you can select each one of these lines that have been, selected. So let's move around. We got one right here. Hold down Alt, click there. Let's go ahead and rotate around here. And then we got one right here. Hold down Alt, click. Let's go ahead and drag here. You let off the Alt key and you're able to just simply drag. Let's drop it down a little bit. Okay, whatever you do, do not click. If you do, then what you have selected down bottom will unselect. Hold down your Alt key and let's rotate back around. And we've got this. So let's come over here and we want to choose chamfer, or however you pronounce it. Click on it. And then we're going to set it go ahead and zoom in here. Okay, let's go ahead and set this to 5. Alright, so that'll give us a width of 5 for each one of these. Actually, let's change this to about a 3. Alright, that looks a little bit better. So we got 3 on this one. Let's go ahead and click on OK. Do it again. And now, as you can see, every one of our bars are in good shape to work with. Now, let's go ahead and zoom in. And what we want to do now is that we are going to, as much as I hate doing this, we're going to select out. And now we've got to select each one of these faces. Let's go ahead and choose our polygon tool. And we do not want to select them like that. Let's come all the way over here and just simply select, hold down your control key, and go through and select each face. If you accidentally click out, then you can always Control Z to go back. Just keep that in mind just in case you do mess up, which happens every once in a while. Okay, now let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Let's drag it over to its side. We want to do the same thing. Select this. Well, actually, let's deselect that. We seem to see how we got double bars here, but we do not have them right here, so we got to fix that. However, we can go ahead and, since we've got all these selected down bottom, use your delete key and simply delete it. Okay, so that will get rid of them. Okay, now we need to create this bar over here, so let's choose our edge, and we want to click here and then click the bottom. Let's go ahead and just rotate around. We got to do it for all of these since that did not get chosen. Like I said, just hold down your shift key. After you choose your first edge, you can use the shift key and it will select all the edges around. Now we come over here to connect, and now we've got our line in yonder. So let's go ahead and choose that. Now we're going to come over here and choose our polygon, and we're going to choose this one, this one, this one. All of these get chosen. Alright, so now we've got all of these chosen. Once again, use the delete key and delete them. So this is what we've got so far. Okay. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to select all of our bars, and we need to add some depth to our bars, some thickness to our bars that are coming down. So let's go ahead and come over here and make sure that our selection tool and our polygons is selected. Let's click on polygons again, and now we should just be able to select them. So hold down your control key and just go across and select our bars. Okay, so that's got our top bar selected. Let's go ahead and zoom in here so we can make sure that we're going to do this right. Right here. So what we want to do is that we want to bring our bars inward. So let's go ahead and choose the extrude tool. And our extrude tool is extruding it outwards. We want to extrude it in, so we're going to go into a minus and we're going to bring it inwards about -3. And so that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. And yeah, let's go ahead and check that. So that looks good. So now them bars are out of the way. And so now the next thing we want to do is we need to select our bars down here at the bottom. However, we need to select everything up top. Okay, I had to move my ribbon from over here to the top. So let's come over here to visibility and let's choose hide selected. Okay, and let's go ahead and choose these as well and choose to hide selected. Okay, so now what we've got here is that we've got our bottom baseline. So let's go ahead and select all of it. Let's go ahead and zoom in. And we've got our center right here. We need to deselect our centers on all of our pieces. Let's go ahead and do the Z to get everything back. We don't want to mess with these, just the ones that are in the centers of these. Okay, so now with all of that done, let's come over here to the extrude tool and extrude. It's hard whenever you got everything up so close to you. Okay, so everything is extruded to a 3. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and click OK, and everything looks good there. So now come over here to visibility and unhide all. And now we've got everything here. So the next thing that we want to do is that we want to select each one of these faces up here and have them bevel in so that we can actually give our bridge to where it actually looks like there's pieces. And so let's go ahead and select it. Hold down the control key. Okay, so that's got all of them selected. Now we're going to come over here to the bevel and let's go ahead and zoom into it first so that we can actually see it better. Okay, let's go ahead and choose the bevel, and then we want to drag this down to about here. So let's do a -0.5, and then you can set this on however you want it. I'm going to set this one at a -1. We're going to set this as a -1. There it goes. And that should have all of them set. There we go. All of them are set. Let's go ahead and choose the check to set it. And you can do the same thing to here. You know how you drive over a bridge and it goes blub, 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 blub. You can do that here as well. You just select each one of these. And just basically, whoops, let's zoom in so that we can see what we're getting ready to do. Choose the bevel or 0.10. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So a -1.0 should be fine. So let's go ahead and click OK on that. And now we've got a little bump whenever we ride over the road. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, let's go ahead and zoom out. Let's click out of that. And let's go ahead and add a texture to our road here. Okay, so we don't want to select anything inside of here because this right here is just our bump, so it's not going to get the texture of our road. Okay, so with all them selected, let's go ahead and choose our material editor. Click on double-sided right here, and we want to come all the way down to our mental ray arc and design. Double click it, let it load, and we want to click on the ellipse button, not the color, but the ellipse button. And then we want to choose bitmap. And now we want to come over here. We want to go inside of the folder here, projects, 3ds Max, textures, and we want to choose the road. Let's go ahead and apply it, and then click right here to show shaded material area, and there is our road. However, it does not look right. So what we need to do is that we need to do some settings here. And so we want to go to our offset for our U. We want to set this at 26. And then we're going to come over here to our toweling. And then we want to set this to a 2.0. And then we're going to set this to 20. And that right there will give us our road so that it looks a lot better than not having a road at all. You can come over here and you can add some textures to your sides and everything and really make it look good. Okay, before we wrap this up, let's add in a front panel to both sides of this. So let's go ahead and zoom in. Okay, with us being in here, let's go ahead and with our polygon tool selected, let's go ahead and select this one, hold down Control key, and then select this one, the one in the center, that one, and that one. Come over here to our select and move. Let's come out to the side, grab a hold of our Y. First hold down Shift, then grab a hold of the Y. Want to move this forward to right here and choose OK. Now let's go ahead and just go ahead and deselect. Hold down our Alt key and let's just move around to here, and then we can go ahead and zoom into this one. Okay, finally got in here. So with the polygon selected, let's go ahead and select this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Let's go ahead and move out. Get our selection tool, hold down Shift, and then grab a hold of our Y and pull it to the edge right here. Click OK, and that closes up both of them so that now they look like fixed structures instead of hollowed out structures. So let's go ahead and zoom out, and while we're at it, we're going to, let's go ahead and move this out to here. Then we're going to select that one, select this one, choose our material editor. We're going to select this one right here. We're going to come down to double-sided, and we're going to choose arch and design. Click on OK, and let's go ahead and choose a very dark gray for this one. Click OK, click here, and then click here. And that gives it a much better feel. And if we scroll out, it just looks a lot better having the sides a different color than the rest of it. Alright, Wayne Barron here with darkeffects.net inside of 3D Studio Max. Y'all have a good one now. Bye bye.